down 78-67. Deuce McBride for three. Made it a 10-point game. After that, fourth quarter we go. Knicks down 7. Cat to Wright. Make it a 5-point game. Then Towns. Oh, it's a 1-point game after that. Knicks down 1, 85-84. Next, Knicks possession. Man is at it again. Plus the foul. Knicks up 2 after the made free throw. Their first lead since it was 22-20. Towns gets to 20 points in the fourth. It was 94-90, under 4 minutes to play. Still a 4-point game. Tyrese Halliburton cuts it to 2. Then 2 minutes to play. Now tied at 98. Jalen Brunson inside. Knicks back out in front. Back and forth we go. Final minute. Still a 2-point game. Miles Turner for 3. No. It was a chance for the lead. Josh Hart flies in for the rebound. He is fouled. Slow to get up. He thought, oh boy, he's grabbing for that knee, but he was fine. He made both the free throws. Final seconds. Pacers down 4, trying for a miracle. Pascal Siakam misses the 3. Hart is there for the rebound. Knicks are on the board in this series, 106-100. Katie George, after the game, no, not going to do that. We're going to do that in a second. The Knicks trailed by 20 points, the third time this postseason that they've overcome a deficit of 20 or more points to win. New York also did this in games 1 and 2 against the Celtics. Obviously, though, that was the conference semifinals. Now, since the play-by-play was first tracked in 1998, the Knicks are the first team to have 3 wins after trailing by 20 points in a single postseason. Now we get to hear from Katie George.
Jalen, like we've seen.
My favorite, and he joins us now. I'm not just saying that to butter him up or to tell him that when Karl-Anthony Towns joins us, we're going to completely cut you off and make you stand by. That part of it is true. But what do you say about his performance in this game, Karl-Anthony Towns, doing what he did, particularly when Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble?
Well, first, let me give a lot of credit to the bench, right? I thought Shamet and Deuce McBride came in and completely changed the game for the New York Knicks defensively. Tonight, Karl-Anthony Towns became a Knick, right? He became a Knick. On a night where Jalen Brunson was struggling, they were down, all of a sudden he took over. And that's the Karl-Anthony Towns that we know, one of the most skilled bigs to ever touch the damn basketball. And he did it in all fashion. He did it attacking the paint, from the three-point line. And I love it because he responded. He responded to Coach Thibodeau benching him in the fourth quarter in Game 2. That's how you answer the call. That's how you tell your coach, don't ever disrespect me again. Tonight, to Karl-Anthony Towns, best game in the Knicks uniform. He became a Knick when it mattered the most.
Okay, so this is a Knicks team that has been down in games before, but this is also a Knicks team that blew that lead the other night and allowed the Pacers to come back. So to me, I look at them and I see a resilient bunch to be able to do what they did tonight. How do you describe it?
I say the same thing, and it starts with the leadership, right, and the mental toughness. And your leader on that team is the heart and soul of Josh Hart. Tom Thibodeau said he's going to go with Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup. He bring in Josh Hart off the bench. All of a sudden, Josh Hart comes in, and he's that spark. Don't look at the box score when you talk about Josh Hart and the energy that he brought tonight. And then all of a sudden, it was contagious. We saw OG Anunoby get involved. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns in the second half dominate. And then Jalen Brunson come in the stretch, hit a crucial floater in the paint. So that's just who they are, right? But I'm so happy.
I think he's back now. Can you hear me again, Perk?
He's there.
You there? Can you hear me? All right.
Can you hear me?
We lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what you were saying about Josh Hart, because I think it's important, and you kind of got cut off there, about what he did coming off the bench. Why was he such a spark to this team?
Because he's the heart and soul of the team. He's a Swiss Army knife. He could cut you everywhere but loose. And what he did was he led by example. His energy tonight, it was contagious, right? We saw when they didn't have the energy, we saw him defending, we saw the offensive rebounding, we saw the defensive rebounding, and then all of a sudden you see Shamet, you see Wright, and then Karl-Anthony Towns come in and they follow suit. So when you have a guy like Josh Hart that is all in, right, don't matter if he's a starter or not, it sets the tone and the temperature for your locker room, and I thought he was phenomenal tonight, the unsung hero.
Perkins, Eves, and look, based on how those first two games played out in New York, we were all talking about what the Knicks didn't do, while still giving the Pacers props for coming back and winning those games. But it was also what the Knicks didn't do. Now I think we got to turn that same prism to the Pacers, where you were up 2-0, you were at home, you got a 20-point lead. It's still double digits in the fourth quarter, and you lose with Jalen Brunson in foul trouble. How does Rick Carlisle and his squad settle with what happened here?
Well, I mean, you're right, though, and it starts with Tyrese Halliburton, right? He's the leader of that squad, and when you at the crib and you up 20, you got to handle business, right? But the Knicks returned the favor. Again, Miles Turner, who has been playing exceptional basketball this entire postseason, right? You can't get outplayed by Karl-Anthony Towns. I think the Knicks then found something there. But again, you got to hold those guys accountable, and I'm going to say this. Those minutes where Aaron Nesmith had to go to the back when he turned his ankle were huge minutes for the New York Knicks, because he has been a pest and a thorn in their side. So they made the run. Again, I'm excited for Game 4. I think it's going to be one of them, but I think the Knicks are going to tie this series up. We're going to be headed back to Madison Square Garden in a few days for Game 5 with this series 2-2.
Perk, one other thing I noticed late in the game, and obviously you can attest to this as many big playoff games you played in your life, it felt as though it was the Pacers. There were a lot of short arms on some of those shots down the stretch. A couple floaters here, even some of the threes. And those when you're a little tight, you're not a little certain of what you're trying to do here. Granted, these are the best players in the world, but how can that moment impact players when you know you need to score right now as the Knicks were making their run?
Well, I think it comes down to this, right? You look at your champion. Who is your champion on the Pacers? Pascal Siakam. He was the guy that went for 39 in Game 2. He's the guy that they look to for go-to buckets down the stretch. He wasn't there. The Knicks did an outstanding job on him tonight, right? Like taking him away. We just saw the Knicks clicking on all cylinders. And again, when you're up by 20 and all of a sudden the team start to fight back and all of a sudden they take the lead and they come back, now the pressure is on you. See, the pressure has always been on the New York Knicks because they've been the ones with home court advantage or blown the leads in this series. But now all of a sudden the Pacers blew the lead and we saw them start hitting the side of the backboard. Miles Turner, he shot a shot. I started ducking in the house. Thought it was going to hit me.
You know where that thing was going.
All right, so we're going to put you on pause for a second. Don't go anywhere. But new on Sportscenter, when you win, you get to speak first, and that's where the Knicks head coach is right now.
Hey, Tom, I think you've talked before about it's not who starts, but how you finish. And I guess Josh, whole fourth quarter and the contribution he made down the stretch there.
Yeah, hard-fought game. I thought we got off to a good start. Then we got into foul trouble. And then we finished the half pretty good. And then we were at our best in the fourth. And a lot of guys stepped up. I thought Cat's presence, Josh all-around play, doing what Josh does, everything. I thought Deuce gave us good minutes when Jalen was in foul trouble. OG was terrific throughout. Mitch gave us good minutes. And then Landry and DeLon did a really good job as well.
Tom, obviously Towns 20 in the fourth. Just was there a concerted effort to seek him and hunt him, especially with the lineups that you had on the floor?
Well, I think that's sort of the mantra of the team. They're unselfish guys. When someone gets going, right, you try to continue to keep them going, and that's recognizing what's working. And so it was everyone working together to find open shots for them, which I think is important.
Tom, you often talk about next man up mentality. Right over here, DeLon and Landry, two veterans who hadn't played much, were out there on the floor when you guys really started to stabilize that. I guess the importance of having veterans on a team like this.
Yeah, the high character guys, and both guys have done a good job. And we picked up DeLon late, but Landry's been terrific all year. And he had the unfortunate injury in training camp or preseason. But he's played really well, and he's great for the team. He's always ready, and the same could be said for DeLon. So they're really, really good pros. And when I say that, I mean they do the right thing every day, and that goes a long way. It's not just lip service, it's actually doing the actual work, which I think is important.
Tom, your guys, over the course of time since you've been with the Knicks, they play tough, they play through injuries, but Karl was grabbing his knee pretty good, and then Josh fell awkwardly on his knee. Do you have any concern with either of those guys for Game 4?
No, I don't know if you're aware, but our medical team is voted the best in the league, so yeah, they are tough-minded. I think it's at this time of the year, the mental toughness is probably more important than the physical toughness, and both of those guys are mentally tough, which I think is huge.
DeLon and Landry, obviously.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Kênh YouTube của mình là kênh chuyên sáng tạo nội dung cắt dán này các bạn này. Nội dung cắt dán. Những đây trước mặt của mình đây là nơi làm việc của mình này, bao là nơi làm việc của mình. Có những sản phẩm của mình đã làm xong này, làm xong cắt dán hoàn chỉnh rồi, rất nhiều những sản phẩm đây, rất nhiều sản phẩm này các bạn này. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm đẹp như này cho các bạn xem thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ như sau. Đây là những giấy thủ công màu của mình này, giấy thủ công màu rất nhiều màu sắc. Mình sẽ chọn là một số màu sắc ra cho các bạn xem nha. Đây là một số những màu tiêu biểu để mình tạo ra những sản phẩm như thế này. Đấy. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm này thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ phụ bổ trợ như là bút dạ này, bút dạ để mình vẽ này. Rồi mình sẽ vẽ cái ô tô cho các bạn xem nha, ví dụ như này đi. Đấy. Cái ô tô này đi. Đấy. Đấy, ví dụ như mình đang vẽ cái ô tô này. Đấy, mình sẽ dùng những sản phẩm này, mình sẽ cùng kéo cắt